What's up, guys? Jake, the MMA dad. I know it's been a while. Some of you guys have been asking where I'm at. Been super busy. I'll make a separate video, maybe like a YouTube short explaining kind of some of the stuff that's going on if anybody's interested in it. I'm not going to get into a long explanation in the beginning of these videos, right? I'm excited to be sitting down with you guys. I know there's a lot of great music that I've missed. And I'm excited just to get into it. And we're going to kick things off tonight with Tom MacDonald, Names. I don't know much about it. People were asking me to react specifically to this song. So I'm excited to see what Tom's talking about. You guys know how much I love Tom MacDonald, but y'all also know how much Tom MacDonald will make me get on my soapbox. So I will try not to get on my soapbox and just worry about music and kind of giving you guys my take like I normally do, right? So before we get into that, a big shout out to the Hangover Gang, big shout out to Creek Squad, big shout out to the Nightwish Army, and as always, a huge shout out, thank you, we love you, to our active duty military, our veterans, and our first responders over on this channel. We love you guys. We're praying for you guys all the time. I'm excited, man. This is going to be a lot of fun. I miss sitting down in front of the camera and hanging out with you guys. So without further ado, I'm going to put these headphones on. No green screen today. I just kind of didn't really have time to set it up, so I just threw up some lights behind me. I know it's probably not going to look as good as my green screen, but hey, got to work with what I got to work with and the time that I have to work with it in, right? All right, guys. I'm rambling on too much. Tom MacDonald, Names. Let's do it. And boom.
They gon' try to call you names, label you with things till you're ashamed. You're a sexist or a racist, white supremacist or gay. They'll attack your reputation, claim that you're the one to blame, and try to make you hate yourself for ways that you behave. They're just names, embrace them and they'll never cause you pain. They're just words that another person thought up in their brain. They're just names, they do not define you, that's insane. And they'll just call you something different if you change.
Okay, I can hear the buildup in the music, so this is a good spot to pause at because I can tell very quickly the beat's about to drop. Tom always makes amazing beats. I always love his beats. But let's talk about like a little bit of like what's going on. So he's talking about how, like, especially in today's society, right? Everybody gets labeled something. It's kind of crazy, and it's equally crazy to me at how much people get triggered by people calling them names, right? It's one of those things. It's like, you know, you've been called names since you were a little kid. I mean, on one hand, I kind of understand, but on another hand, my mindset is like, if you're gonna call me something, call me something. You know, I understand that like some things, some labels, some names that people might want to throw on you, can affect you, not necessarily like emotionally, but like professionally, right? So like if enough people start trying to label you as racist, then in this type of culture, in this cancel culture, like people could actually start to believe that, hey, like this guy really is racist and so on and so forth. So I understand that, but it's also one of those things that, like, I think for me, it's hard to understand it, like why people get as triggered as they do. So, and you see the imagery he's got here, right? So he's not really full-blown crucified. Like there's not a cop there, but he's being hung up on a billboard. He's being hung up for the world to see. And because of the type of music and the you know, controversy, the hot topics, whatever you want to say, that Tom gets involved in, transphobic, racist, stupid, ugly, loser, trash, sexist, privileged, right? And it's you see it happening all the time. If you don't go with the agenda, you're immediately going to get labeled something. They'll find some way to twist your words. They'll find some way to take something out of context or whatever to label you something that you're not, just for speaking your mind, right? And that's a very dangerous road we're going down here in America, where you can't even have an opinion anymore. And it's like you guys got to understand something. Like, we need both sides of the table, right? Like, I don't want to get political on you guys, but you have to have both sides, right? Because there's some good ideas on both sides. There's some bad ideas on both sides. There's radicals on both sides. It's not just one side or the other. And because of the differences in the views and stuff, it allows for debate. It allows for conversation so that we can continue to grow as a people, as a nation. And it seems like one side is being silenced by the other side. And that's a really dangerous road for us to be going down. So Tom's saying, like, you can label me all this stuff, but at the end of the day, they're just names. Like, I'm not worried about it. Enough rambling.
They'll attack your reputation, claim that you're the one to blame, and try to make you hate yourself for ways that you behave. They're just names. Embrace them and they'll never cause you pain. They're just words that another person thought up in their brain. They're just names. They do not define you, that's insane, and they'll just call you something different if you change. Call me racist, I don't make no BLM donations. I can stand with black folks without a branded corporation.
Tom, that beat, man. Like, there's two things that I really enjoy. I enjoy drums and those deep bass hits like that. Phenomenal Tom on the beat again, as always, brother. But also, like, what he's saying, he's like, you're going to call me racist because I won't donate to Black lives. Like, and he's saying, like, I stand with black people, I support black people, but I'm not going to support this company. I mean, it's being exposed every day that, the founders of the Black Lives Matter movement were stealing money. Like, the one dude, it just showed like 10 million or something like that he stole. So, like, Tom's saying, like, just because I don't support them, they're gonna immediately label me racist. And it's I don't know, it's just stupid. Like, I like the imagery right here. Like, right before that beat hits, like, Tom takes this big breath. He's like, I'm about to let all this off my chest. I'm about to explain just how freaking stupid people are being, right? And then boom, that beat drops. All right, here we go.
Call me racist, I don't make no BLM donations. I can stand with black folks without a branded corporation. All this systemic prejudice, if you live in this nation, you privileged, black or Caucasian.
Yep.
Call me transphobic, but I support you in your policies. I just can't ignore the very basics of biology. All I see is men and women trying to live in harmony, not 100 genders that you wanna be. Call me snowflake, cause I'm offended, I ain't stone-faced. Social justice warriors destroying us with woke ways. Mad because they voted for the POTUS with the most hate. Man, I miss the old days. Call me loser, call me bigot, call me stupid, call me bitter, call me ugly, call me cracker, call me doucher, call me triggered. You can call me what you want, cause at the end of the day, man, they're just names. Go ahead and call us names, dog. Do your thing.
All right, so before we get into the chorus, there's a couple of things that Tom was touching on in there. Like, and I'm not going to go into like each and every one because I'll end up talking forever, but I just kind of want to, you can almost lump it all into what I'm going to try and say, and hopefully I can say it in a way where people understand where I'm coming from, right? It's one of those things that's like, look, you do you, right? If you want to be a certain way, if you want to behave a certain way, if you want to believe a certain way, that's your right as a human. That's your, especially as your right as a human here in America. However, where you have to draw the line, where I draw the line, is when you start unwantingly pushing those beliefs on other people and trying to make them think that they should think the exact same way you're thinking. And, I'm not up to speed with like what will and will not get you censored on YouTube. So I got to be careful with what I say. But it's one of those things like, and this has been my mindset since day one, like since I was very, very young. If you want to be a certain way that's different than me, fine. I'm still going to be your friend. I'm still going to respect you. Nothing is going to change between us. But don't try to force it on me. Don't take it to that next level where it's not okay just for me to be accepting of you. I have to think the same way that you think. I don't do that to people. I don't go around pushing my beliefs on people. If people ask me a question, I'll educate them on my beliefs and I'll answer their questions, but I'm not going to do my best to convince you that you need to believe the exact same way I believe or live your life the exact same way I live my life, because humankind doesn't ever make any progress if everybody's exactly the same. We have to have our differences, right? It's just, don't push it on me. Don't cram it down my throat. Excuse me. And I feel like that's what's happening a lot in our society today is you have all these people out there like that are just like, hey, I accept you for who you are. But that's not enough. It's not enough for them. They have to push it and push it and push it. And when they're unable to push it on adults, it's like the mindset of, well, if I can't make the people who are already grown up, already established, already thinking for themselves, if I can't make them see things my way, I'm going to start impressing my beliefs on kids who are still trying to form who they are. And that is not okay in any way, shape, or form. Like, those kids should have the same opportunities to grow up and become who they become because they chose to become it, not because they were convinced that they needed to become a certain way. And I don't know, maybe I get in trouble with YouTube for that rant. I tried to be as politically correct as I could be, but you know, Tom was talking about that, where he's telling him, he's like, hey man, like I can support what you're trying to do, like from a, you know, quote unquote policy standpoint. I can understand that you are who you are, but don't try to push that on me. So I told you guys, man, Tom gets me on my soapbox every time. Tom, every time.
Call me cracker, call me doucher, call me trigger. You can call me what you want, cause at the end of the day, man, they're just names. Go ahead and call us names, dog. Do your thing. We ain't tripping cause we heard it all before. Give a damn about the names, dog. We feel no pain. Your words ain't gonna hurt us anymore. Go ahead and call us names, dog. Do your thing. Y'all are tripping, but I hope you find the Lord. Give a damn about the names, dog. We feel no shame. Call us anything you want, I'm getting bored.
I like the chorus.
Try to call you names, label you with things till you're ashamed. Repeat it till you really start believing what they say. They gon' stamp it on your forehead and scream it till you break. They love to say they woke, they not awake. They're just names, afraid of anyone who ain't the same. So they classify your thoughts as controversial, not okay. Then they cancel you till everything you have all gets erased. They tryna tell the world you bad, they're just names. Call me conservative or liberal, Republican or Democrat. I'm somewhere in the middle, but y'all don't know what to do with that. The system got you so obsessed with classifying right or left. You never call a person human, call them names instead. Call me sexist. Men run the world cause they're aggressive, but behind every man there's a woman just as successful. We will never be equal in every way, that ain't helpful. Our differences are why we're great together. Call me white devil.
See, Tom just said it. We're different, but that's what makes us great together. You can't really put it any other way than that. Like that's the perfect way to put it. It's like, yes, we're different, but it's those differences that allow us to learn from one another and to put our minds together. Because if everybody looks at a particular problem the exact same way, then it's not going to get solved in the best way possible. It takes another set of eyes. It takes another way of looking at it to get those problems solved. Like that happens a lot in law enforcement, right? Like, you know, the you know, maybe the main detective is just like racking his brain trying to put this case together, trying to find that piece of evidence that links this or links that, or you know, just trying to understand, trying to solve that crime. And sometimes it just takes another detective walking in and looking at it from a different perspective, and then all of a sudden, boom, they find the answer. I don't remember if I told you guys this, but a guy that taught my blood spatter analysis class that I went to, long time detective, a homicide detective, and he was an expert in blood splatter. And there was a murder that occurred, and you know, there was this one particular picture that he showed us in the class, and it, at first glance, it just looks like a bunch of, you know, blood smeared all over the place on the floor, and it was obviously the victims, and it looked like, you know, it was just on his fingers, and like he was trying to crawl or something. It's just that's all it was. It was just a picture of the ground with all this, you know, I don't know what the deal is with with YouTube cancellation. So all the red liquid, right, all over the place. And he stared and stared and stared at that picture, and he was trying to figure out. He knew that there was something important in that picture, but he couldn't see it. He no matter how much he looked at it. And then literally his wife, who isn't even a detective, he had this on his overhead at home, and he's trying to look through all these pictures, and his wife literally walked by and said, "Who's?" and said a name, right? Like, I'm not gonna use the real name, but we'll just use Mike, right? Like, who's Mike? And the detective said he looks at his wife and goes, "What do you mean, who's Mike?" And she's like, "Well, it's written right there." And he couldn't see it, right? It took another set of eyes, another perspective to see that written in the red liquid was the name Mike. The victim had actually written out who killed him. And that wouldn't have happened if everybody saw that picture the same way. And I know that's kind of maybe it's a weird analogy to use for this situation, but it's crazy, man. And like he's saying, like everybody's trying to label everybody, like, and I like how he said, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm not left, I'm not right, I'm not liberal, I'm not conservative. I'm somewhere in the middle, and that scares you because you don't know how to handle that. You don't know how to deal with that. And that's true too, man. Like, you know, I think that's where a lot of us fall. Like I think that could be true for a lot of people. And again, I'm not going to get on a political soapbox, but Tom, really loving the song, man.
Break together. Call me white devil. I know you think the system favors me. My privilege is residual benefits from the slavery. Subconscious prejudice embedded in the system made for me. Don't mean I never struggled to survive. I guess we ain't agree. Ignorant and jaded. Call me dumb, uneducated. Call me idiot or redneck or delusional or crazy. Call me anything society has taught you to say. Cause at the end of the day, they're just names. Go ahead and call us names, dog. Do your thing. We ain't tripping cause we heard it all before. Give a damn about the names, dog. We feel no pain. Your words ain't gonna hurt us anymore. Go ahead and call us names, dog. Do your thing. Y'all are tripping, but I hope you find the Lord. Give a damn about the names, dog. We feel no shame. Call us anything you want, I'm getting bored. Your sticks and your stones might break my bones, but your words don't hurt.
Video by Nova Rockefeller and, oh man, that went by too fast. Nova Rockefeller and who? Jared Potter. Good work on the video. Tom, I know you produce your own beats, man. Fantastic job on that beat. That was an amazing beat. I love the message, man, like always from Tom. You know, I keep saying it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't get tired of Tom or anybody putting out music, spreading messages that need to be heard, right? Because like I've said before, this might be the first and only song that somebody hears from Tom. So even though people are like, oh, I'm tired of it, you don't know if they're going to see Tom's other music. So you have to keep putting the message out there so that you have a better opportunity for people to hear it. So, and it's not like it, you know, it's the same type of content, but he always does it in a different way. So it's not like he's just recycling bars. He's always coming up with something new. Tom, this video is already getting long. Man, great job on the song, great job on the beat. Nova and was it Jared? Phenomenal job on the video as always. You guys are just continue to kill it all the time. Y'all, please go over to Tom's channel. Please go over to Nova's channel, and if Jared has a channel, please go over to his channel as well. You know, our whole job on this channel is helping to get these messages out there, talking about them, you guys listening to my takes, and then us having discussions down in the comment section. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm glad to be sitting down. I'm gonna do a few more songs too, and they'll be releasing kind of throughout the week as I'm able to get to editing and everything. But I love you guys. I miss you guys. I'm gonna start doing also some of the shorts, some of the shorter content, especially with like my training and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try and get a little better at this. I just don't ever think to do social media posts about myself really, like, and when I do think about it, they're so few and far in between. I gotta get better. Gotta get more consistent. Anyway, I keep rambling on. I love you guys. I'm happy to be sitting back down with you, and I'll see you guys over on the next video.